What's wrong with the stupid TV? There's nothing to watch. Oops, never mind. I found something. Hey guys, welcome back to The Last Rewind with your host, Big Red. And man, have we had a great beginning to the second round of the NBA playoffs. They may say the ratings are down for the second round, but I'm telling you, it's been an exciting second round. First few games, the game ones and a game two last night, which we're going to get into, was very exciting. But what I wanted to speak on is maybe you guys have known, the home court advantage has meant crap. Game one, everybody lost at home. All the people who are favored to win the series have lost at home. The Knicks, who had not beaten the Celtics at all this season, I think they're 0-4, beat the Celtics. We'll get to them in a minute. The Nuggets beat the Thunder, who had the best record in the West. Came down to a last-second shot from Aaron Gordon. The Pacers, 2 games have been played so far, and no one gave them a chance. I don't know if people really thought they were going to beat the Bucks, but nobody really gave them a chance against the Cavs. Cavs, best record. We'll get to both games in just a second. And the Warriors. Timberwolves fresh off of dethroning. Not even going to say dethrone. They just beat the Lakers. There's no dethroning anything because they're not the champions. Even though, like I said, people talk about the Lakers and LeBron like they're the champions. They talked about LeBron like he was going to the Western Conference Finals, and Chris Broussard and Nick Wright, who thought they were going to go to the Western Conference Finals at the least and possibly even go to the finals, maybe even win. They dethroned the Lakers. And so Ant-Man came in pretty cocky. I'm going to get to that in a minute. But first, let's just start off with the first of the 4 games. The Knicks and the Celtics. This is where I'm starting to think where coaching doesn't matter as much anymore. And what I mean by that is it seems like everything is just done through the lens of analytics. As we know, the Boston Celtics, I don't know what ranking they are as far as three-point shooting, but I know they're the top 3 at least. They will chuck the ball up the entire game, and it's like they have no concept. If they're hitting it, great. They're shooting threes, great. But when they're not hitting it, it's like they don't know what to do besides continue to shoot it. Why not go for the 2, drive people towards the middle, and then open up your 3-point shots for wider open shots, and then maybe you'll get an open shot and hit a 3, see something fall in, and then maybe it'll start falling. But why continue to chuck up shots? And they had a 20-point lead. The Celtics had a 20-point lead in that game. Knicks are not known for scoring. They're known for defense. Tireless defense, too, because they will play their players the entire game if they have to. Mikal Bridges, I think he played like 50 minutes, because the game went to overtime for 1. But they're known for their defense. The game ended at 108-105. But the Celtics set a record for 60 three-pointers, making only a quarter of those. They shot 25%. As if it's not enough, this is to tell you the difference in the errors. Knicks shot 37. That used to be a ton of three-pointers in a bunch of different eras preceding this one. And they shot 45%. Only shot 42% from the field. But they still won. The Celtics shot 35%, mostly because of the 3-point shot. They just would not stop shooting and just take it to the basket. And it's not like they don't have capable scorers into Jaylen Brown and to Jason Tatum. But this is where I don't know how much coaching plays a part in teams anymore. Because going to the Nuggets when they had Mike Malone seemed like a coach's coach. The Grizzlies coach seemed like a coach's coach. The X's and O's is what I'm talking about. But now it just seems like if you can just get a team who can shoot threes, that's all you need. And a little bit of defense. Just put it on autopilot, and that's the recipe. But see, this is what happens when you live by the three and you die by the three. Now, the Celtics were at home. They're favored. Again, Knicks had not beaten them all year. This is a different season, though. You give a team a hint of confidence, and it can carry throughout the series. They won game one on your home court. Knicks got a chance, I think, in the series. Now, what I will say is they did barely win. And the Celtics had to have a historical bad shooting night to win for the Knicks to win. So that's probably not going to happen again. But what if it does? Maybe not historical bad shooting night. What if something close to that? What if the Knicks start hitting at a greater pace at the three-point shot and two-pointers, and their defense wears the Celtics down? This is a show improve year for the Celtics. Because remember, a lot of people didn't give the Celtics credit last year for winning the championship because everybody they played, almost, except for the Mavericks, were injured. They played nobody at full strength. This year, they're really getting tested. This is also supposed to be a year for Jason Tatum to prove himself because of what Steve Kerr did to him during the Olympics, which would basically make him a background player or a bench player, if that. But do I think the Celtics are in trouble? Somewhat. We'll see after, I'll say, game 3. If the Knicks are able to win game 3, or even, I'm skipping to game 3, because I'm thinking the Celtics are going to recover game 2. But if the Knicks are able to win either game 2 or game 3, the Celtics are in trouble. When pressure starts to hit you, that three-point shot starts to become heavier and heavier. You become desperate, and that's where you see what champions are made of. But Celtics got to get out of that three-point auto shot. The coach, hey, drive it to the basket, guys. And once you drive it to the basket, see the shot go in, maybe that confidence goes to your three-point shot. See, this is why a lot of times, players like James Harden don't work out in the playoffs, because it's a different season. It's a different type of defense. Fouls aren't called as much. You have to go in your bag a little bit more to make 2-point shots and 3-point shots. Different schemes come out in the playoffs. You got to play the same team for at least 4 straight games. And as we've seen, James Harden disappears every playoff year. Kills the regular season, at least in his prime anyway. He did pretty good this year. But the playoffs, Magic Man, gone. This is where you prove yourself amongst the legends. Jason Tatum got to prove himself. I know people say, well, he won a championship. He won a championship, but a lot of people kind of put it on maybe not the same level, but around the same level as the bubble championship, as the Spurs 99 championship, where people won't come in, playing at full strength. Or sometimes people say the Warriors' first championship. There was a lot of people injured along the way for them winning the first championship. The second championship is where you prove, were you really a good team or was that a fluke? Anyway, on to the next team. What was the next team? Let's see. We got the Pacers and Cavaliers. Man, I got to apologize to Halliburton. It's not that I thought he was overrated. I didn't think he was going to do this much damage in the second round versus the Cavaliers. They seem like an offensive juggernaut. They got the defense on point. Although they got some injured players on their bench, that's no excuse. I mean, you have the number 1 seed. You're the team that's supposed to challenge, if they get past the second round, champion Boston Celtics. That's the series everyone's kind of looking forward to, and maybe that's the problem. Maybe they're looking too far forward in the future, thinking they're going to play them, thinking that the Pacers are going to be a cakewalk. But they came into town, beat the Cavaliers. First game, 121-112, pretty handily. So I said, okay, Cavaliers gonna come back. And it's not like it was a bad game the second game. Donovan Mitchell, I think he said he had 45 points, if I'm not mistaken. I can get to their stats. I'm sorry, 48 points. Jared Allen, let's see, he had 22. He had some help. But this is again where coaching maybe would have helped with this. They couldn't do an inbounds pass to save their life in the last minute of the game. Actually, I made the same mistake. This is what the mistake I made. I made the same mistake I made. I don't know, it was 95 or 96 when the Knicks played the Pacers and the game seemed out of hand. You know which one I'm talking about. With about 15 seconds left, I said, okay, it's an 8-point lead or a 7-point lead, whatever it was. And the game's out of hand. I can turn the channel. It's over. Reggie Miller was playing playoffs. The game is over. And I turned away and I turned it back, and Reggie Miller's at the free throw line to tie the game. And I'm like, how? They just had I think it was an 8-point lead. How? You can't turn the game away that fast when you got streaky shooters like that. And Tyrese Halliburton, he made me look foolish. 47 seconds left. I turned it. I said, game's over. I'm gonna turn it to something, channel shop, channel surf, whatever. And I'm gonna turn it back. And I turned it back. I'm like, wait a minute. They got a chance to tie the game or win the game. Halliburton's at the free throw line. 2 free throws. Misses the second one, gets his own rebound. Crosses over his defender, shoots a 3, bang. Leaves, I think, 1 second on the shot clock. Game over. And they are up 2-0 on a team that people thought could maybe win the championship. If not, at least get to the Eastern Conference championship. They're in a bad spot. Now they're going back to Indiana. What's going to happen next? I wonder. If they go down 3-0, it's over. I think if they go down 3-1, it's over. Because that's going to take the heart and soul of the Cavaliers. The pressure is going to amount to them. They've done all this to get home court advantage. They look like a juggernaut of a team. Like no one could beat them. I know at one point I thought maybe they were going to win, close to 70 games. That didn't happen. They faltered toward the second half of the season, but still, I didn't think it was going to come to this. So this is now where you got to show if you're going to be a championship team. If they can win the next 2 games, I don't mean just one. They got to win the next 2 games for me to even give them a chance to win a championship this year. Even if they were to get past this team, which I doubt will happen if they don't win 2 games next. Not just one. They got to win 2. But Tyrese Halliburton, he may be underrated. The crowd should have been yelling underrated. They were yelling overrated to him. They should have been yelling underrated. He may be the Pacers' new Reggie Miller. Reggie Miller was under the radar because there was such great talent around the NBA. Of course, and he played in the same conference as Michael Jordan. So, of course, he wasn't going to get the same billing as him. But he was great in his own world. And Tyrese Halliburton, this may be his coming out party. Let's see what happens in the future. But the Cavaliers need more help, I guess, next. Siakam has to step up and do a little bit more by the next game. But the Pacers are going to be fired up by the time it comes back to Indiana. All right. What else? Who we got next? The Nuggets and the Thunder. This kind of shocked me. Jokic, as maybe some of y'all know, he's one of my favorite players. The man does everything, basically. rebound, pass, and score. And he does it, and you don't even notice it. I think he had 40 points that game. Let's see what he had. 42 points that game. 22 rebounds and 6 assists. That was a bad game for him in the assist department. That's how great he is. You know, most people would have thought he would have got more assists than that. Murray had 21. Westbrook, another guy who I got to give his props during the playoffs. I thought he was going to regress without Mike Malone because I know Mike Malone believed in Westbrook. He's the one that got him to come to Denver. But Westbrook has been showing out. Every now and then he makes some bonehead plays, but his energy transfers to starting lineup and the bench. So he's been a very key cog to this team. Now, not saying he will, if they win a championship, he's got to get a piece of that MVP. Not win the MVP trophy, but he's got to get a piece of it. You know, just touch the side of it and say you had a big part in us winning this championship. Not saying they will, but if it happens, he was a big player for them to get past the first round. If they get past OKC as well. OKC, this is where analytics seem to be taking over near the end of the game. They kept fouling because they thought, oh, okay, 2 is worse than 3. And they may miss the free throws. But here's the problem. This is where coaching should have played a part into it. They left too much time on the clock. They didn't leave enough time to go off the clock. See, time works in the favor if there's enough of it for the team that's behind. Less time helps out the team who's ahead. Get rid of the time, make it harder for the team who's behind to have a chance to score enough points to come back. They left too much time. Jokic hit that great three-pointer that tied the game. I think it tied the game towards the end. And they ended up fouling. And there was another great thing Jokic did. Jokic, on the inbound pass, they were trying to get it to anybody except for Shea Gill. They were trying to block it from him getting it because he's a 90% free throw shooter. And the way he was jumping up, and it looked kind of comical because he's such a big dude. The way he was jumping up, but I've never seen him that animated to block an inbounds pass. And they got it to what was his name? Chet Holmgren. And they got it to the right person. He missed 2 free throws. Denver had no timeouts. Went down the length of the court. Westbrook went the length of the court. Passed it to Aaron Gordon. 3-pointer. Lead. Game over. They did what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to get one game at least in OKC. Then they go home. So now Denver has home court advantage. It's gone. Denver is the more experienced team. And this is what I wondered about OKC. This is my only critique about them. I was like, they're doing great in the regular season. Same thing I said about Cleveland. They're doing great in the regular season, but will that transfer to the playoffs, or will a more experienced team be able to overcome that? And it seems like home court advantage don't mean nothing right now. Home court advantage didn't mean anything for the Rockets. The more experienced Warriors took that over. Home court advantage didn't mean anything for, what was the other team? Did the Lakers? Yeah, Lakers are the number 3 seed. Home court advantage didn't mean anything for them. They lost in 5. So home court advantage didn't mean anything. Now the Lakers were more experienced, so that didn't play a part into it. The Timberwolves just had a better game plan. Or the Lakers just plain suck. And people overrated them, not Tyrese Halliburton. But I'm thinking the Nuggets have a chance to win this series. They seem invigorated ever since they got rid of Mike Malone and got Adelman as their coach. You can look on the sidelines. You can look at Jokic. He's very vocal. I've never seen him this vocal in a huddle. Usually Jokic is like the quietest one on the team. He just doesn't say anything. He just lets his play do the talking. Now he's like actually, moving his lips and actually talking. He's yelling. He's like the loudest one on there. You would have thought he was Westbrook the way he's yelling in the hub. And it's refreshing to see. He seems very passionate now. That was always the joke about is that, he speaks softly, but he plays loudly. I think they have a chance to beat them though, because again, the pressure that OKC, they have experienced this before, but now when you're the number one seed and everyone is coming at you and everyone is expecting you to win, that's a different kind of pressure. I don't know if they're built to handle it. It may be regular season ready, but it don't look like they're championship ready as of yet. We'll see by the next game. And Denver should have been the one that's tired. OKC was fresh. So again, we'll see by the next game. Who's the other team we got? Let's see. Oh, the Warriors and the Timberwolves. This one, not so sure. They won game one handily, my add, mostly without Steph Curry, because Steph Curry pulled his hamstring. I think he has a grade 1 strain. So he'll miss Friday's game. Not sure when he'll come back. But if they by chance win game 2, I wouldn't let him come back for game 3 if he can help it. I wouldn't come back for game 3. He needs to rest as much as he can. If you've already stolen home court advantage, so there's no need for him to come back. But with Jimmy Butler, I think they have a chance to win game 2 or game 3. But I wouldn't sleep on the Timberwolves just yet. Ant-Man didn't show up. He didn't show up. And let me also say something too. Ant-Man really hasn't. I know people want to say he's the one that put the Lakers away. He really didn't have a great series to me. He had a couple of good games. It was the rest of the team. It was the bench players. It was Gobert. It was Randall. Ant-Man had maybe one great game. That's where I think it was game 4 where he outscored LeBron and Luka. I think he had like 43 or something like that. But Ant-Man has not really shown out consistently throughout the playoffs. And he didn't really do so on this game either. Let's see. He had, what did he have this game? He had 23 points, but he shot horribly. I'm trying to find the overall stats for that game. Trying to find the overall stats for that game, but I'll get to it. But he started late. He didn't really have a great game that is needed to put his team over, especially when they had an injured player and Steph Curry. And they need him to be a leader. I mean, it's nice to have a supporting cast and lean on your teammates, but at some point you've got to, have a great game yourself. I'm still trying to find the stats for that particular game. What did he shoot that game? Anyway, Ant-Man, I don't know if he wants to be the face of the league again. He always says, I think he did at one point, man. He doesn't really care. But if he wants to be the number one guy, and not exactly the face of the league, but known as the number one guy or the best in the game, he's got to show and prove. And I don't think he's been doing that a lot lately. He's been very inconsistent. Let's see. I'm still trying to. I think I about got it. Let's see. Edwards. He shot 9 of 22. He shot 40% from the field, 20% from 3. He did produce 14 rebounds, and that's good that he helped out in other ways. But he's got to do better than that if he wants to beat this. This is an experienced championship team with Steph Curry and Draymond. Jimmy Butler has been to the finals before. Of course, he hasn't won. He's been there twice, I think. But he knows what it takes. I want to say to win if he hasn't ever won, but he knows what it takes to get to the championship round. Anthony Edwards, if he wants to take that leap, he's going to have to take that leap on the court, not just with his mouth. That's what he's been doing lately. Yeah, you can brag after you got rid of a team, but that last game versus the Lakers, it wasn't because of you. I don't even think he had 20 that game, but it wasn't because of you. It was because of Julius Randle and Gobert. They were the MVPs. Good. It's good to be able to lean on your teammates, but you're still the leader. So you got to be the focal point of the team, the guy that leads them past the series, at least the majority of the games. I haven't really seen that quite yet. Not like last year, or the year before. I need to see that more this year if he wants to get to this team to the next round. And you've already lost game one. And again, that was without Steph. That was a concerted effort. Draymond was going off at one point. He was having a better shooting game than Anthony Edwards. Jimmy Butler. Let's see, he had, what did he have? He didn't have a great game. He had 15. He didn't shoot particularly great. Great defense, 11 rebounds, 8 assists. He did the other things that contributed to a great win. Buddy Hield, 24 points. Didn't shoot particularly great. Nobody really played particularly great that game, to be honest with you. It was just the defense of the Warriors that really took over. They had a plan in place. So with that being said, if I go off of these 4 teams, who do I think will win their next game? Knicks. I think the Celtics will bounce back. Again, I don't think they're going to shoot a historically bad game again. 63 pointers and only making a quarter of them. I think the Knicks win game 2. I'm picking the Pacers to win game 3. I'm picking them to go up 3-0. The Nuggets, I think it'll be a close game, but I think the Thunder will eke out that win. I think the Nuggets might be too reticent and happy that they won the first game, and they'll be happy to go back to Denver tied 1-1. The Warriors and the Timberwolves, because Steph is out and because I think the Timberwolves are going to be mad and that they got caught lacking in Minnesota wins the next game. But they still have lost home court advantage. So let's not forget that. So I'd like to hear what you guys like to think. Who do you guys think will win the series? You can put it in the comments. Let me know. This has been Hostile Therapy. Sorry, not Hostile Therapy. This is another show I used to be on. This has been. I'm traveling back in time. This has been the Last Rewind. This has been the Last Rewind with Big Red. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I will see you on the next episode. You guys have a good day. Peace.